Super Mario 64 is debatably the most popular and influential speed game of all time. Sporting over 600 active players, it is second only to Minecraft on Speedrun.com and has over 25,000 runs submitted. The game is full of amazing glitches and incredible movement at the top level that makes it the perfect game for competition. As a longtime watcher of speedrunning, I've wondered just how difficult would it be to get into it for myself. Welcome to Speedrunning Simplified, the show where I, a complete novice, learn to speedrun various games, so you don't have to, with the goal of showing a more casual audience, and myself, that speedrunning doesn't have to be intimidating, and that anybody can learn if they want to. Today, I'm going to be learning how to speedrun the most popular category in the most popular speed game of all time, Super Mario 64 16 star. I hope you enjoy. Speedrun.com, the perfect website to find any resource you could possibly need to get started with speedrunning a new game. Most communities will have all of their guides and resources, if they have them, listed under their game, and there is no shortage of them for Super Mario 64. This makes it very easy for beginners like myself to have an easy path to follow, keeping it from being overwhelming, having too much to learn all at once. The first thing I did was open the 16-star guide from the SM64 community wiki. This breaks down the run into 3 routes: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The beginner route has a very well put together tutorial video by veteran SM64 runner Drogi, which I used a great deal during my learning. All guides and resources I use during this video can be found below in the description. Super Mario 64 is generally played on, well, the Nintendo 64. However, there are separate leaderboards for Virtual Console and emulator. As a beginner, you should learn to speedrun any game on what is most readily available to you. And if you begin to take it seriously, then you can invest in proper hardware to run the game on whatever that may be. While I do have the proper hardware to play on Nintendo 64, I decided to run the game on the Switch Virtual Console, as I think that is what most beginners would have access to, and it has some pretty handy save state features that'll make practicing tricks a lot easier. Now, it's time to learn the beginner route. The goal of a 16-star run is to collect 15 stars as fast as possible. This will make the rabbit MIPS spawn, which allows you to clip into the stage Dire Dire Docks. Here you will collect your 16th and final star. This also opens up the second Bowser level, allowing the player to then perform a skip known as backwards long jumps, or BLJs, to enter the final level and finish the game. As soon as Mario exits the pipe and we gain control, we make our way over to the castle entrance. This is where we have our first optional trick of the speedrun, Lakitu Skip. On both sides of the bridge, there are very thin edges that Mario can move along without triggering the Lakitu cutscene. This saves about 8 seconds. This trick becomes much easier the better you can control Mario. The experts recommend trying it, but not resetting over and over if you end up failing. Once inside the castle, we enter our first stage, Bob-omb Battlefield, for our first star, behind Chain Chomp's gate. To get this star normally, you would ground pound the Chain Chomp's pole 3 times, freeing him and opening the gate. However, there's a fairly easy trick to learn that saves around 12 seconds, called Bomb Clip. By grabbing a Bob-omb, throwing it, and re-grabbing it just before it explodes, Mario will gain a bunch of backwards momentum, pushing him towards the gate. Throwing the Bob-omb away will then clip Mario through the gate. If you grab the Bob-omb too early, you won't gain enough speed, and if you grab it too late, it will explode. I was able to pull this off within 10 minutes for the first time, but it took me well over an hour before I felt comfortable enough to get it somewhat consistently. Once we get our first star, it's time to head over to Whomp's Fortress. The first star we get in Whomp's Fortress may just be the most iconic, and, at least what I found to be, the easiest trick in the game. Next up is Cannonless. The Blast Away the Wall star is normally obtained by using a cannon to shoot Mario at a wall, breaking it and exposing the star. This is really slow, so instead a consistent setup can be used to ledge grab a couple of pixels on the wall. The game attempts to make you ledge grab, pushing you upwards, overlapping with the hitbox of the star. By slowly walking off the ledge next to the bridge, you can climb back up, do a backflip, punch once, and slowly walk off the bridge. Then by moving the camera to the right, then back to the left and up slightly, you can climb back up the bridge and immediately start to walk off downwards, putting you onto the star with pretty incredible accuracy. After Cannonless, we get the Wild Blue star with a wall kick, and then re-enter Whomp's Fortress to fight King Whomp. This was one of the first things I struggled with a great deal. I hadn't played SM64 in a very long time, and my movement was absolutely horrific. To get up to King Womp quickly, most people do a well-placed wall kick into a dive to reach the spinning platform above. I found this to be extremely difficult at the time, and found a better alternative was to triple jump into a wall kick. This is used not once, but twice, because after you get the King Womp star, we re-enter the stage and get the Tower star, which is in the same place. After the Tower star, we only have one left to get in Womp's Fortress, the Owl star. By climbing the tree at the beginning of the level, you can spawn an owl. You can then ride this owl to the top and drop into the cage in the sky, but this can be skipped with an appropriately named trick, Owlless. Experts recommend this trick not be done if you're a beginner, as it saves barely any time with poor movement. And, as I said, I was not very good with movement. I only managed to pull this jump off once in nearly an hour of attempts, so I'm not going to try this in my runs. We're now at 6 out of 8 stars to enter Bowser in the Dark World. Those 2 are obtained in Cool Cool Mountain. By grabbing the baby penguin and switching your camera to Mario Cam, you can walk off the edge to the right, sliding down and jumping straight to its mother. This wasn't too difficult to pull off, but grabbing the penguin itself was an entirely different story. This stupid baby penguin made me rage so hard. Grabbing things in this game proved to be a major hurdle of mine to overcome. Get over here, you little motherfucker. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. He's a jukester, bro. Re-enter Cool Cool Mountain afterwards and jump off the edge to the left. By timing a kick just before you land at the bottom, you can avoid all fall damage, saving a little bit of time. And the final lobby star is just a bit of tricky movement away from there. This is where the beginner and intermediate routes begin to differ, entering Bowser in the Dark World. Here you can get 8 red coins for a pretty quick star while you make your way to the top of the stage. However, seeing as how my movement is an absolute travesty, I struggled for nearly an hour just trying to get them all without dying. Not even going quick, just trying to do it the correct way. I think it's best I stick with learning the beginner route for now. The 8 red coin star would replace a star we get later in the run, so I'll point that out when the time comes. At the end of the stage, we have our first Bowser fight, and I had no idea at the time just how big of a problem Bowser was going to be for me. As an outsider, I used to always question, how do people miss Bowser throws? It looks so easy. You spin him around and then you throw him at the bomb. How hard could it be? Oh, I was so unbelievably naive. And that's only the first of 3 Bowser fights. With the key from Bowser in the Dark World, we can enter the basement and head over to Shifting Sandland. By quickly making your way over the first pillar, I can run up the right side and a long jump onto a Shy Guy's head, flying directly into Klepto the bird, releasing the star. The second star in Shifting Sandland, you're supposed to triple jump over the hill to your left and then triple jump into the Pyramid Star. I spent an extremely long time on this jump, and for the life of me, I just couldn't get it very easily. I found a much easier, beginner-friendly strat later, however, involving the box next to the spawn platform. By grabbing onto this box at the right angle, it'll force Mario into a triple jump of sorts, perfectly launching him over the hill. The next star is a pretty simple 8 red coin star in Lethal Lava Land, putting us at 11 stars for the beginner route. If you did the 8 red coin star in Bowser in the Dark World, however, you would have 12 stars. This is important because next we're headed over to the Hazy Maze Cave. A toad spawns outside of Hazy Maze Cave at 12 stars, giving you a free star. You need to collect the star before you hit 14, because Mips the Rabbit won't spawn unless you collect your 15th star in a stage. If you're not getting the red coins in Bowser in the Dark World, you'll be getting the Swimming Beast star inside of Hazy Maze Cave. By dropping off of the elevator before it hits the ground, you can clip through the wall as it comes down on top of you, falling directly on top of the star. The final 2 stars we get in Hazy Maze Cave are pretty straightforward. A well-placed wall jump to reach the emergency exit star, and then avoiding the boulders for the Rolling Rocks star. Now with 15 stars, after we get the Toad star, Mips the Rabbit spawns, making it time for one of the most famous tricks of all of speedrunning probably. Required for 16 star, Mips Clip. Mips Clip is surprisingly not very difficult, but what I found to be the hardest part was actually catching the damn rabbit. Grabbing things in SM64 is absolutely brutal. It's like Mario's hands are boxes and he just can't grab anything. I would eventually find a nice setup to grab Mips easier, but I'll talk about that later down the line. Once you grab Mips, a star will spawn, but you're not supposed to grab it. This would actually waste time. It would be your 16th star, but you need to grab the star in Dire Dire Docks anyways to spawn the second Bowser level, so it's just not necessary. But if you do accidentally grab it, you can still have a valid run with 17 stars. With Mips in hand, you slowly walk forward and up to the right a little bit into the door until Mips' shadow disappears. Afterwards, by setting Mips down, it'll clip you through the door. You can turn around and pick him up again, and then jump backwards through the door with Mips still in your hands. You then do the same thing to the 30-star door, except this time you can just leave Mips behind and enter Dire Dire Docks. Climbing up onto the submarine, you can get the 16th and final star, opening Bowser in the Fire Sea. From here, it's a matter of clearing the level, beating Bowser once again, and heading back to the lobby for the final trick of the run, and one of the most important, the backwards long jump. It's actually pretty simple. By facing the bottom of the staircase, if you long jump and mash A, you can catch on the stairs and build up a bunch of backwards speed, launching through the first door. You then do this on the endless staircase that normally requires 70 stars to climb, launching to the top and entering Bowser in the Sky, the final level of the game. If you face too far left, you could accidentally clip through the staircase into the wet dry world below, wasting an extreme amount of time. One tough stage, and 3 Bowser throws later, that, I'll be honest, took me nearly 40 minutes to do successfully for the first time, by the way. And that's the run complete. The biggest thing I learned from practicing the route was my movement is atrocious, but everything seems pretty completable for me given some time. So I figured my best thing I could do next is set up Live Split and do my first ever full run. I wanted to try pretty much everything, and above all else, finish the run no matter what. So I had something to compete against and improve upon in the future. I tried Lakitu Skip, but didn't quite make it, and the same thing happened with Bomb Clip. I then proceeded to do Womp's Fortress out of order, wasting a bit of time, but I did pretty alright with the triple jump to the spinning platform, landing it 2 of 4 times. I did Cannonless really slow, but I managed to pull it off, and the Wild Blue Star took more tries than I would have liked to admit, and we left Womp's Fortress in one piece. After hurling some probably undeserved insults to the baby penguin and proceeding to kill us both. Alright, Penguin, my arch fucking nemesis. You motherfucker. God damn you. Please. No, we fucked it already. He's so bad. I did it pretty clean the second go around, and I'd rather not talk about the other cool mountain star. Let's just say I gave a couple of lives to the cause. And to my surprise, I made it through Bowser in the Dark World in one piece, even landing the Bowser throw on the first try, only to save and quit instead of continue right after. But that was probably a blessing in disguise, because I absolutely shit the bed in the Shifting Sandland. I died. Take me now. I died again. And I died one more time. Oh no! Finally getting the Talon Star, only to die again. Oh my god, I did it. No. Oh no! And then again. I don't know how to do this, but I saw somebody do this. Oh no. And I actually then performed what we call a game over. No. I returned to Shifting Sandland and successfully used the box this time, getting the Pyramid Star, and then getting the Lethal Lava Land Star after burning Mario a couple of times. Hazy Maze Cave actually went incredibly well, with the only issue being getting hit by a boulder one time. And then came Mips Clip. It took me almost 4 minutes just to catch him. Just to catch him. In total, over 7 minutes just to enter Dire Dire Docks. And because I set myself on fire multiple times trying to catch Mips, I died immediately entering Dire Dire Docks because of the water. Wait, do I just die because I had no HP? I do. That's so fucked up. And then I met my new nemesis, Submarine. I could not get on the stupid ship. I kept falling into the water over and over and over again, taking almost 4 minutes to get the star. Oh my god, please. There's no fucking shot. Oh, you son of a bitch. Fucking side flip already. There's no way. How much momentum does a guy need? Funnily enough, despite Bowser throws being my absolute nightmare, throughout the majority of learning this game. My first run nailed both the first and second Bowser levels, getting the throw first try both times, making it an absolute nightmare to compete against. I got the first BLJ immediately and the second one on my second try. And after a nerve-wracking climb to the top, we reached the final fight with Bowser. I start to struggle with Bowser a bit here, but land the first throw after a bit of prep, and the second one by complete accident, I'll be honest. But somehow, my very first attempt at a run, after just a few hours of learning the game, mind you, came to an end with a time of 44 minutes and 43 seconds, with a ton of room for improvement, obviously. With my very first run under my belt, I knew what I wanted to practice the most. I decide Lakitu skip probably isn't really worth my time, but I wanted to try to get more consistent with bomb clip. I spent about half an hour with it and start to get a much better feel for how it's done, and I do the same for shifting Sandland since it was easily my worst level. Grabbing Mips was a big issue for me as well, so I learned a much easier setup to grab him. With my movement slowly but surely getting better and feeling a bit more comfortable with the tricks in the route, I wanted to see how much I could improve upon my initial time before setting a goal for myself. I immediately decided to run it back, nailing bomb clip surprisingly, making a big improvement right out of the gate. Or I guess you could say, into the gate. This time, I do Womp's Fortress in the correct order, and I messed up Cannonless, but nail Wild Blue. And I didn't do too horribly on King Womp in the tower, leaving Womp's Fortress still managing to save some time. Crisis was narrowly averted by saving the baby penguin, and I made a fool out of myself on the wall kick star. Still, because I died multiple times in the first run, we saved a little bit of time in Cool Mountain. And so begins the journey of me being bullied by Bowser levels. I lost a lot of time on the slope at the start, unfortunately, and missed not one, not two, but 3 Bowser throws, losing over a minute to Bowser in the Dark World. But luckily for me, shifting Sandland was atrocious, and I nailed both stars, saving just over 3 minutes. I saved a little bit of time in Lethal Lava Land, but a death in Hazy Maze Cave cost me over half a minute. I failed my setup to grab Mips twice, but we lost so much time here the last time, I was able to salvage it and still save nearly 5 minutes by clipping pretty quickly. And I was able to board the sub on my first try, saving another 3 minutes. You'll begin to notice a theme here. I died to Bowser, I failed to grab his tail, I missed a throw, I almost die again, but somehow I ended up saving 12 seconds. I guess that just comes down from better movement through the level? I don't know. And then the BLJs hit. It took forever to land the first staircase, and then I end up clipping into Wet Dry World on the second, having to do it all over again, only to then nail it on the first try, both times immediately afterwards. Yeah, that couldn't have just happened the first time. I think it's a good lesson to learn early though. I need to stay to the right side of the staircase, because if that happened when I begin to improve, that'd be a run killer. Unfortunately, however, I entered Bowser in the Sky with 0 lives, and as you can probably imagine, I could not throw Bowser correctly, and ended up getting a game over, losing the run. It was pretty devastating, but I improved a ton in practically no time whatsoever, whether I finished that run or not. The one major hurdle for me quickly showed itself to be Bowser throws. I did another run right after, and I entered Bowser in the Sky nearly 12 minutes ahead of my PB, even better than the previous run, and I lost it once again, getting a game over to Bowser. But I was not going to give up. I started another run right away, entering Bowser in the Sky even better than before, nearly 13 minutes ahead. The Bowser fight went absolutely horribly, again, but I managed to defeat him, finishing my second run with a time of 32 minutes and 28 seconds. A massive improvement in only a day of running the game. I knew a sub 30 minute time was possible. These 4 run attempts showed me one thing. I had a new goal. To get a sub 30 minute time. The run starts really good, grabbing a gold split for Bob-omb Battlefield and Womp's Fortress, and almost Cool Mountain, but I made a unfortunate mistake on the wall kick star. I decided to take my time throwing Bowser this time. It wasn't a gold split, but I still managed to make up a little bit of time. The golds continue to keep coming, with Shifting Sandland and Lethal Lava Land. Hazy Maze Cave wasn't quite a gold, but still better than my PB. Another gold from Mips Clip, and an absolute disaster trying to board the submarine. No fucking way. It's literally impossible to board this fucking sub. It's crazy. Well, there goes the run. Game over. It's all gone now. I begin to lose heart a little bit, but it could have been a lot worse. It only ended up being 3 seconds lost. I know in my heart the biggest thing I can do is do Bowser well. But unfortunately, I end up dying to Bowser in the second fight due to low HP from the actual level, but hit a pretty good throw on my first try, saving over 2 minutes. This could actually be the run. I end up losing just over 7 seconds to the BLJs, but we're entering the final level at 24 minutes. I know all I have to do is throw Bowser well, and we have ourselves a sub 30-minute time. It all comes down to this. We enter the final showdown with 3.5 minutes to hit our goal. Why does it have to come down to the fucking Bowser throws? It starts off pretty bad, struggling to grab his tail, and then missing a throw. We're almost dead, but I land a throw and begin to heal up from the coins that the fires had spawned. We land the second throw. Just over 28 minutes on the clock. We're gonna do it. This is it. One more throw. Let's go! I tossed. Let's go! Wait, what? No! How is that not good? How was that not good? You're kidding! I was so close to not only beating my goal, but beating it by a decent amount. And once again, it came down to the damn Bowser throws. But you know what? I'm content with that. I made a lot of progress in only a few short days, and I'm proud of what I managed to accomplish learning to speedrun SM64. I think it went pretty well. So, what did I think of my time learning to speedrun SM64? Well, I'm gonna be honest. It was really frustrating. The game is critically acclaimed, and it paved the way for future 3D platformers. I'll always love it for that, but for somebody who doesn't have a ton of experience with the game, the camera and movement could be extremely difficult and frustrating to get used to. Would I recommend this game to other up-and-coming speedrunners? I think that comes down to how much you enjoy Super Mario 64. I think that's important for any game somebody wants to speedrun. You've got to enjoy it, but here especially, if you love SM64 and grew up with it, I think the game's tricks and movement can be really fun to pull off and master. But if you do not enjoy this game, the camera and gameplay will probably lean towards the frustrating side for you. I'm really glad I did it though. It gives me a newfound appreciation for sure for all of the awesome SM64 runners and what they've managed to accomplish over the years. There's a reason it is one of the most popular speed games in the world. It has a very high skill ceiling and is really competitive. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me learn how to speedrun Super Mario 64, and if you're also a casual speedrunning fan, I hope I made it enjoyable to watch and easy to understand. If I did, it would mean a lot to me if you left a like on the video, if you enjoyed of course, and subscribe to the channel so you can join me on my next speedrunning adventure. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully get to see you at the finish line of my next world record. You gotta be shitting me. Get over here, you little brat. What the fuck?